From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
And good morning to you and welcome to Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Megan Shen. It's 5 o'clock here on your Friday morning.
And I'm Rafael Sanchez, and these are your headlines on this January the 22nd.
Just shocked, and when you're driving to the location, you're thinking, is anything stolen? Is anything on the inside vandalized? You know, how bad is it?
A Hancock County business struck by vandals multiple times. Our Kelsey Anderson talks with the owner, who's now trying to pick up the pieces once again.
Plus, we're learning more about the next stages of Indiana's vaccine plan working for you when health leaders say eligibility will be expanded.
And COVID numbers aren't just numbers. This morning, our own Troy Washington shares the story of a local family who lost two loved ones from the virus just one day apart. We want to thank you for starting your morning with our team here on Good Morning Indiana. It is finally Friday. We made it to the end of the week. And so, Todd, people want to know, what's it going to be like outside today?
You know, it's going to be a quiet day for us. That's the good news. We have sunshine, so that's good as well. The bad news is temperatures are not going to be as warm as they were yesterday. Right now, we're in the process still of cooling down, but no visibility issues this morning. You can see well off to the east as you look from IMS back towards downtown Indianapolis. 29 in Indy right now, as well as Lafayette, with skies that are mainly clear. Bloomington, 31 degrees, celebrating the big win yesterday over Iowa in men's basketball. As far as the clouds go, there's a little bit of cloud cover here to the north, scooting off to the east. The rest of central Indiana this morning is nice and clear, and back off to our west, it's pretty quiet, and that's the nice weather that we will enjoy heading into your weekend. So for today, we've already hit our high temperature for the day today. That occurred shortly after midnight. We're just going to kind of sit in the 20s and not really do a whole lot here throughout the day today. The good news is, as I mentioned, we have the sunshine. This time of year, the sunshine always helps everything. It does get a little tricky in the forecast here for the second half of your weekend and start next week. More on that storm coming up in just a few minutes. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at I-65. This is a view here north of the downtown area near 21st Street. Traffic is traveling up to speed both northbound and southbound there, so no major issues as you're heading out on the roads this Friday morning. Megan.
Lauren, thank you. President Biden has unveiled more of his plan to fight the coronavirus pandemic. On his first full day in office, he signed at least 10 executive actions focused on COVID-19. Dr. Anthony Fauci is now Biden's chief medical advisor. In his first briefing under the new administration, he said he believes America can reach the president's goal of administering 100 million COVID-19 vaccines in 100 days. He also said they need to target messaging to help reach that goal.
One of the things that I think is something we need to pay attention to, and I, quite frankly, have been spending a considerable amount of my own time, is outreaching, particularly to minority communities, to make sure that you get them to be vaccinated and you explain why it's so important for themselves, their family, and their community.
In addition to target messaging, Biden's plan includes accelerating the manufacturing and delivering of vaccination supplies, establishing a pandemic testing board to look into testing capacity, and allowing FEMA to create federally supported community vaccination centers. Rafael?
From the White House to the State House, here at home, the state's vaccination efforts are key in battling COVID-19. As of this morning, more than 362,000 Hoosiers have received the first dose of the vaccine, and just over 87,500 Hoosiers are fully vaccinated. There are now 189 vaccination sites across our state. And when the state does get more of the vaccines, the next group to get one of their doses will be people in the age bracket of 65 through 69. Now, right now, that age group must wait. State health officials say that's because vaccines coming from the federal government are limited.
We are committed to providing a vaccine to any eligible Hoosier who wants one. At the same time, we need to ensure that we have second doses available 3 to 4 weeks after the first dose is administered. Despite being told that additional vaccine would be coming to states, we've since learned that there is no national stockpile. Our vaccine allocations have not increased beyond the roughly 78 to 80,000 doses we were already expecting each week.
Dr. Lindsay goes on to tell WRTV that the system is in place to avoid canceling vaccine appointments because of low supply. The state finds out on Tuesdays its allotments of vaccines available for that week.
Well, down in Johnson County, some residents actually got early access to vaccinations after a shipment there of thawed vaccines arrived. The Johnson County Health Department and Johnson Memorial Hospital received 957 Pfizer vaccines last week. They can only be stored thawed for up to 5 days under FDA guidance. County Health Department Director Betsy Swearingen says that the availability window was briefly widened, but most of the thawed vaccines were still given to people ages 50 and older, as well as those with medical conditions. A reminder, under current state guidelines, anyone ages 70 and older, long-term care residents, first responders, and healthcare workers are eligible for the vaccine in Indiana. You can register by going to ourshot.in.gov or by calling 211. This information is all up right now on our WRTV mobile app and also on WRTV.com.
A message from the CDC this morning regarding vaccines. The organization is warning against doubling up upon the COVID-19 vaccine and the flu shot. They say that's because there is a lack of data on getting COVID-19 and other vaccines. Together, the CDC recommends a 14-day interval before or after getting any other vaccines, including a flu vaccine. Raphael?
Good morning to Anderson, Muncie, and Pendleton, and Hoosiers really across the state have been impacted by this pandemic in one way or the other. And Lauren, every morning, as you know, we share the data.
Raphael, we know that those numbers aren't just numbers. They actually have faces and families behind them. And so this morning, our own Troy Washington has the story of one Hoosier family that lost 2 loved ones to this virus. Troy, good morning.
Good morning. Now, the Benetti family, they lost 2 loved ones in a matter of 24 hours. Could you even imagine? Now, the Benetti family says that they have a message for Hoosiers. This virus is very real, and even though their loved ones' lives were cut short, they want their memory to live on.
It was a roller coaster ride until the very end. It was really hard losing 2 of the people that was the pillars of our family.
Now, just ahead at 5:30, we'll learn more about those loved ones, and we'll also share with you the message that the family is hoping to get across. Reporting live downtown, I'm Troy Washington, WRTV.
Troy, thank you. Now, if you lost a loved one to COVID-19 and would like to share their story with us, you can contact us by going to Faces of COVID at WRTV.com.
Lauren, the Butler Bulldogs were hitting their stride, but COVID-19 is putting the brakes on their game. Tonight's men's basketball game against Seton Hall is postponed. The Big East Conference announced the decision yesterday afternoon. They said the postponement was due to COVID-19 related issues with the Butler program. A makeup date has not been announced yet. COVID-related disruptions, are nothing new to either team or to college basketball in general this season. The Bulldogs have had 5 other games postponed or canceled earlier in the season. Seton Hall has lost 3 games because of the virus.
It is 5:08, and this morning a local restaurant in Hancock County has been vandalized not once but twice since opening their doors in 2019. Our own Kelsey Anderson joins us now from Fortville with more.
Boarded up for the second time since opening here on Main Street in Fortville. The windows busted the first time on January 2nd, 2020, and again this week on the 20th. Tim Brunig owns Bonsai Fortville. This is the scene he saw at his restaurant on Wednesday morning. But this isn't the first time he dealt with someone targeting his business. He tells me on January 2nd, 2020, 2 people were seen throwing rocks in his storefront. Fortville Police releasing this video then. I spoke with Officer Graffiti with the Fortville Police Department, and she says this week's incident is an open investigation. And as of yesterday morning, she didn't have anything she could share with me. And they don't know if the 2 incidents are connected as of right now. As for Bruning, he says he doesn't know why his business was hit again, but he's doing his best to keep his and his staff's spirits up.
Yeah, I was joking with the staff. I have some Bear fans coming in here. I was thinking maybe it's Bear fans. They know I'm a Packer fan, and they're upset about the Packers being in the playoffs. I don't know, but yeah. I really don't know. A lot of people speculate it could be, certain people. But yeah, I don't know what it is, to tell you the truth. So it's, I know it's disheartening. I know that.
Bruning is thankful this time he has double-paned windows, so the damage was only done to the outside of the building, and they are able to remain open. If you have any information on this act of vandalism, the Fortville Police want to hear from you. Working for you, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
If you know something in that case, please do call police, as Kelsey just mentioned. We're learning more about the city's plans to make Indianapolis a much safer place to live and also to give those folks involved in bad activity a better path to follow. Officials will now begin working with violence interrupters. Interrupters are paid community members who are familiar with the city's hardest hit neighborhoods. They will build relationships with people who may be involved in gun violence. Like many programs, the goal is to provide resources like education and job opportunities.
I never had credible messengers. I always had a preacher or a politician or a coach player, somebody who I couldn't relate to, that would come and say, hey, I made it through. I was black. I was in your community and I made it. That's fine, but can you tell me how? You never told me the ins and outs. You never told me what you went through. You never told me about your sleepless nights on the pillow, your thoughts to go out and commit a crime, but you knew you had practice tomorrow, so you chose to go. You never told me that stuff.
The 6 interrupters will be hired through the Indianapolis Public Safety Foundation. Time now to check your forecast on this Friday. And Todd, we are all hoping for a nice weekend.
Yeah, well, as we go through the weekend here, Raphael, Saturday's dry. Sunday, we run into some issues across the area as our next storm system starts to head our way. Today, though, you just really need to bundle up. There's no real weather-related issues. Temperatures won't really do a whole lot throughout the day today. We're still seeing our temperatures decline. We're just down into the upper 20s in many locations. We should get to the mid-20s this morning. And then the good news is we do have plenty of sunshine as we head home. Skies are clear all the way back into parts in Nebraska. That is our next storm system. Going to come at us in 2 waves. The first wave brings a little bit of a rain-snow mixture in here during the day on Sunday. The bigger storm with more in the way of moisture, that is going to arrive on Monday. And you can see right across Indiana, it's a split bag of precipitation. To the south, it's probably mainly rain. To the north, you get into wintry mix and the potential for maybe some decent snow accumulation. We'll talk all about it in more detail coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
The car you want, the way you want.
Welcome back. Federal authorities are still searching for suspects who were involved in the attack on the U.S. Capitol, Raphael.
And so, Lauren, as John Lawrence reports this morning, the probe into that insurrection is getting deeper.
The probe into the deadly insurrection at the U.S. Capitol is escalating.
The threat of right-wing extremism is here, right? And we saw it on January 6th. And it will continue to be a persistent and real threat to the District of Columbia.
About 120 suspects have been arrested, including Michael Foy of Michigan, who prosecutors allege is seen in this video striking police officers with a hockey stick during the riot.
Anybody involved in that should be prosecuted. I've been very, very clear about that from day one.
Joseph Biggs of Florida and a member of the Proud Boys extremist group is also facing federal charges. Additionally, officials state that images indicate Biggs carried a walkie-talkie device, possibly to communicate with others during the siege.
Definitely there was a element that came prepared and was looking to do nefarious things.
7 Democratic senators have filed an ethics complaint against Republican Senators Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley to see if their actions played any role in the attack or violated ethics rules.
If people did aid and abet, there will be more than just comments from their colleagues here. There'll be prosecution.
Cruz and Hawley have blasted the complaint as political. And now the director of the U.S. Army staff is admitting he may have expressed some concern about the optics of sending more troops to the Capitol when D.C. government and U.S. Capitol Police were asking for them. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
And today, members of the Indiana National Guard will be returning home. They have been in Washington, D.C. since last Wednesday, assisting security efforts for the inauguration. 1 week after the deadly siege on the U.S. Capitol, Governor Eric Holcomb authorized 625 members to be deployed to Washington. They were part of the more than 20,000 troops stationed inside and around Capitol grounds. Raphael?
The popular conservative social media app Parler will not be hosted on Amazon's web services anytime soon. You see, a federal judge denied its request for a court order that would force Amazon to host it once again. As you may recall, earlier this month, Amazon kicked Parler off its cloud hosting service. The retail giant claimed it did not do enough to remove instances of incitement from its site. Amazon is not alone. At least 6 other data companies have refused to host Parler. The social media platform appeared back online on Sunday afternoon. It is not clear which company is providing the servers to keep it up and running.
The time right now is 5:18. Ubers for space delivery. Today, SpaceX will launch dozens of satellites along its Falcon 9 rocket. This latest launch is part of a rideshare mission. The rocket will be carrying satellites from government and commercial entities. 10 of SpaceX's own Starlink satellites will also be part of this cosmic carpool. Liftoff is expected from Cape Canaveral during a 1-hour window that opens at 9:42 this morning, depending on the weather. So we'll have to take a look at what's going on down there, Todd, to see if that'll happen today.
You know, I guarantee it's warmer down there.
Right.
I did not look at the weather, though, in Florida. I will, though, here after this weather hit and see what it looks like for the launch of that. Outside right now, we are dealing with quiet conditions here in central Indiana. Beautiful shot of our city, as always, from IMS. Looking back off towards the east, temperatures here this morning are still in the process of decreasing. We saw highs today already happen just after midnight when we were in the mid-30s. We're sitting in the 20s and 30s right now, and we'll continue to see these temperatures go down another couple degrees. 31 in Bloomington right now, 27 in Tipton as well as Richmond. 29 is the current temperature in Greenfield. The wind, it's not as gusty as it was yesterday, but it's still out there, and it's enough to factor in a wind chill in the teens right now in Indy. 23 in Bloomington. Here's that temperature trend. Again, we'll continue to decrease here as we head towards sunrise. 8 a.m. temperature right around 26 degrees, and then we just really don't warm a whole lot from that point forward throughout the day today. So it's a chilly day, but the good news is it's a bright day. Just some high thin clouds right now up to our north and back off to the west. There's really not a whole lot that is taking place. Temperatures today, as I mentioned, will only be in the upper 20s here in northern locations. There'll be a couple 30s out there. Muncie 28 in Marion, 27 this afternoon in Logansport. Mid to upper 20s here in the metro area, and then low to mid 30s in southern locations. Bloomington 32 degrees. Seymour today about 35, 33 the expected high temperature in Columbus. Friday night, tonight you may have plans. If you are going out, bundle up, because our temperatures with clear skies and light winds tonight will fall off very, very quickly all the way down into the 20s. Then as you wake up tomorrow morning, we're going to be in the teens in a lot of locations. So if you're heading to some of those winter farmers markets tomorrow morning, or maybe just getting up to go for a walk or run, it is going to be chilly, but we get back up to right around freezing as we work our way into the afternoon hours. Now, we run into some issues with a storm system on Sunday and Monday. It comes at us in two waves. The first one is on Sunday morning, and that is just some light precipitation, but it probably starts off as some snow and freezing rain in southern locations. So there could be some slick spots Sunday morning. Then we go over to rain on Sunday afternoon, but not a whole lot of precipitations around. But then the second wave, which has a lot more moisture, comes in, and that is going to be Sunday evening and then into Monday morning, with probably some snow to the north, rain to the south, and then in the middle part of the state, which includes Indianapolis, we're probably looking at a wintry mix or maybe some freezing rain. So Monday morning is probably going to be the biggest issue as far as getting around, I think, and that's something we'll have to continue to look at and fine-tune as we get closer. Obviously, when you deal with freezing rain, a degree or two makes a huge difference, and notice the low temperature I have on Monday morning is right at freezing, so it's going to be a close call. Hopefully we stay above freezing, and then as we get into the middle and tail end of next week, Lauren, it's pretty quiet with temperatures seasonable in the mid-30s.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at your commute this morning. Taking you up to Carmel. This is US 31 near 116th Street. Traffic up that way still pretty quiet this morning. We'll continue to keep you updated if there are any issues to slow down your commute. Raphael?
So we will be rooting for these two guys tonight. Lauren, two local entrepreneurs will enter the Shark Tank tonight. Our Mark Mullins spoke to the team behind a single-serve coffee brew.
You can take this coffee machine all over the world, planes, trains, automobiles, camping, whatever you want. It can plug into your car, into your house outlets, and you can plug it into an external battery.
Ross Smith is the marketing mind behind the invention. His business partner created the brewer. He describes making it to the Shark Tank as an example of the American dream becoming a reality.
The day we walked into the tank, I was wondering, like, is this real? Let me pinch myself. Like, I'm actually in the Shark Tank. I used to watch this when I lived in Africa. I used to watch this, you know.
Find out if these entrepreneurs impress the Sharks tonight, right here at 8 o'clock, only on WRTV.
Well, Raphael, Metro Police are investigating a hit and run on the city's west side. Just ahead on Good Morning Indiana, the information you need to know to help them solve that case. It is 5:23 here on this Friday. Stick around, we'll be right back.
WRTV.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Today is the day that Todd and I have been waiting for. Hopefully you've been waiting for as well. You can now order Girl Scout cookies, have them delivered right to your door. The Girl Scouts of Indiana are teaming up with Grubhub to make this happen. Starting this weekend, that's right, this weekend, customers in Indianapolis, Carmel, and Lafayette can order Girl Scout cookies for delivery on Grubhub.com or through the Grubhub app. And if you still want that in-person cookie experience, the Scouts will be hosting some socially distant or contact-free cookie booths, all beginning on February the 19th. Todd Clausen, 2021 is looking better every single day.
That's right. What are you putting in your first order there, Raphael?
Samoas, Thin Mints, Do-si-dos, tagalongs, you know, a whole variety.
All right, good variety. All right, absolutely. All right, outside right now, temperatures are hovering right around 30 degrees, and normally that would be a good thing this time of year. We would be above normal. The problem is, unlike yesterday when we started off around 30 degrees and we warmed up close to 50, today there's just not going to be any warming that's going to be taking place. We have a little bit of cloud cover out there this morning in spots. Temperatures, as you see, kind of a flat line, right around 26, 27 degrees throughout the morning hours. Could get up to right around 30 later on this afternoon with plenty of sunshine, though. That is the good news. It's a bright day. It's just a day that you'll have to bundle up a little bit if you're going to be out and about. Time now is 5:28 on this Friday morning. You're watching Good Morning Indiana. We're back in just a couple minutes. Stay with us, and we'll see you then.
Day at 10 on WRTV. From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Now at 5:30, Indiana health officials say they are not ready to open up COVID-19 vaccines to more Hoosiers. What we know about their concerns over the supply.
And a local restaurant having a real hard time after being hit by vandals multiple times. Our Kelsey Anderson talks with the owner about picking up the pieces once again.
And here at 5:31, want to thank you for joining our team to kick off your Friday. We are looking straight ahead to the weekend. But first, Todd Clausen is joining us with a check of our forecast for today. Hey, Todd.
Hey, good morning, Lauren. Good morning, everybody. As you start off your Friday, it's chilly out there, and you're going to need to bundle up on not only this morning, but throughout the entire day. As temperatures today are really just going to hold pretty steady. So you need the coat, you need the hat and gloves if you're heading off to the bus stop with the kiddos this morning. But you also need the sunglasses, which is always a good thing this time of year. In fact, we'll have a lot of sunshine in the forecast throughout the day today. And temperatures, honestly, not terrible for your overnight lows here as we get into when we typically see our lows right before sunrise. We're in the upper 20s to low 30s across the area. The problem, as I mentioned, though, today is we're just not going to see our temperatures moderate much at all. Yesterday, we made the jump all the way close to 50 degrees in many locations. Today, not the case. So skies are clear this morning. Just some high, thin cloud cover to the north. Our next weather maker arrives Sunday morning. That's way off to our west, so you don't have to worry about that. As we work our way throughout the day today, partly cloudy skies to start, turning sunny, but there's that temperature trend. Again, not seeing the temperatures moderate much at all today. As we get to 4 p.m., we're only back up, Lauren, to right around 30 degrees.
All right, Todd, thank you. Let's take a look at your commute this morning. This is a live look at traffic on I-70 near State Road 267. It looks like it's a little breezy out there. Camera bounced around just a bit. You can see traffic here out in Hendricks County is traveling up to speed, both eastbound and westbound. No problems on the west side as well, so it should be a pretty smooth drive along Interstate 70. Raphael?
Lord, I want to take you to the west side right now where we are following a developing story. New this morning, Metro Police looking for the suspect who crashed their vehicle into a west side gun store and then took off with some of the firearms inside of that establishment. All of this happened at 500 Guns. This is located near 16th and Tibbs just before 3 this morning. Police say the vehicle that crashed into the store did not have license plates. A driver passing by the store reported that the vehicle crashed into that building. Now, video cameras inside the store captured images of the suspect who got away with an unknown number of weapons. But at this hour, the suspect is not in custody.
Raphael, we start with breaking news this morning out of Hendricks County. Police need your help finding a man at the center of a silver alert. This is 85-year-old Prentice Eastham. He was last seen in Clayton around 4:45 yesterday afternoon. Eastham is driving a silver Honda Civic with Indiana license plate number 936 LLD. If you see Eastham or have any information on where he might be, call 911 immediately.
And new from overnight, police on the city's southwest side are investigating a deadly hit and run. It happened around 12:30 along Kentucky Avenue near Maywood Road. Police say they received a call saying that a body was lying alongside Kentucky Avenue. Emergency crews arrived and pronounced the victim dead on the scene. At this hour, police believe the person was hit by a vehicle, and they do have some leads in this case. Megan?
Indiana is holding off on expanding who is eligible for COVID-19 vaccines. Raphael?
Health officials say the federal government isn't sending the state enough of those critical vaccines. Dr. Christina Box did announce that people 65 years and older will be the next group eligible for a dose of the vaccines, but that's on hold until the federal government sends more vaccines to our state. Right now, Indiana receives about 80,000 doses a week, and appointments are already booked up through the end of January. If you are 70 or older, you can still sign up for appointments at the website ourshot.in.gov or by simply calling 211.
Here's a look at the latest vaccination numbers. Nearly 24,000 more Hoosiers received their first dose yesterday. More than 362,000 total have been given the vaccine so far, Lauren.
Well, other cities and states across the country are facing issues with vaccine supply, and it's forcing some to reschedule vaccination appointments. New York City's mayor is warning that they're going to run out this week. They had to reschedule 23,000 appointments for people waiting to get their first doses because they didn't have the supply. West Virginia says it also didn't get the increase in doses it was expecting. LJ Tan is with the Immunization Action Coalition, aimed at increasing vaccination rates. He says it's on the states now to monitor the doses they have, but there needs to be better communication to states about how much they have and when it's coming.
I'm actually fairly confident that that there will be supply. Everything that I've heard from the manufacturers suggest that over the course of the next few months, there will be supply to match the ramping up of the program.
According to the CDC, a little more than half of the nearly 36 million doses distributed by the federal government have been administered so far. Raphael?
Eli Lilly and Company says its COVID-19 antibody drug is helping prevent the spread of the virus in nursing homes. These are the details on this Friday morning. The drug maker says in nursing home residents alone, those that used the drug had an 80% lower risk of getting the virus. The drug is a one-time treatment given through an IV. Now, in November, U.S. regulators allowed the drug for emergency use for the treatment of mild to moderate COVID-19 cases. Now Lilly says it will seek to expand the authorization to include use in long-term care facilities.
And the victims of this pandemic, we know they're more than just numbers. They are real people. And so this morning, a Hoosier family is heartbroken after losing two loved ones to COVID-19 just one day apart. WRTV's own Troy Washington is joining us live this morning with the message this family wants to spread. Troy, good morning.
Good morning. Holly Vanetti lost her father-in-law. Less than 24 hours later, she lost her husband. As she starts the grieving process, part of her healing process is making sure that Hoosiers aren't taking this virus lightly.
For people who are saying it's not real, I mean, it's just, you know, we're living proof. I get so frustrated when people say this is a hoax or this is all made up or it's political. That's not true.
In just 24 hours, Holly Vanetti lost her father-in-law, Bill, also known as Chet, and her husband, Ken. Both passed away after battling COVID-19 in the hospital.
We lose one person, that's devastating. We lost two, and it's horrifying.
That was December, just before the holidays, 1 month later, and it's still unreal, especially as she tries to raise her young daughter.
We have 3 boys, and we had just adopted our little girl, who is 3.5. And, you know, that's been really hard, too, because she's asking every day, where's my daddy?
Here you can see the couple's little girl staring out at her grandfather and father standing side by side. A picture that is even more special to the family now that the two have passed on.
Every day I wake up and I think that this nightmare is going to be over, and unfortunately it continues on. It's really hard losing two of the people that was the pillars of our family.
Though it's hard to talk about it, she wants to share their story.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Because she wants the world to remember the men who meant so much to her, but also she wants everyone to mask up and make sure they are doing their part to protect the next person so no one else has to stand in her shoes. Her father-in-law was 78 and her husband was 51 years old. She says they were both huge family men. Reporting live downtown, I'm Troy Washington, WRTV.
Troy, thank you for sharing their story. And families who have lost loved ones to violence in Indianapolis demand to be heard, and it worked.
They listened. They apologized to me and to all of the parents for leaving us feeling like we've been let down and they don't care.
Someone killed Melissa Jude's son at Arsenal Park in June of last year. She says it has been difficult contacting the detective on the case. In those support groups that she went through, she met other mothers facing the same challenges. They held a protest earlier this month calling for better communication between detectives and grieving families. Days later, Jude met with IMPD homicide captain and the manager of victims assistance.
It went well, and that's all I wanted to hear. Someone higher than what we're dealing with to listen to us, put themselves in our shoes, and just when you lose your child or a loved one, you're just left there to find resources and kind of deal with, to us, what feels like a three-ring circus afterwards. And I told them it's like taking gasoline and pouring it on a fire with those emotions.
An IMPD spokeswoman says the push from families sparked a rededication to the department's family contact protocol. Under that protocol, unsolved homicides that happened in 2019 or later require a quarterly contact with the family for the first 2 years. Raphael?
The time now is 5:41. A local restaurant struggling to survive during this pandemic in Hancock County is dealing with even more troubles. Our Kelsey Anderson reports it's been vandalized not once, but twice since its opening in 2019.
Boarded up for the second time since opening here on Main Street in Fortville. The windows busted the first time on January 2nd, 2020, and again this week on the 20th.
This time's definitely tougher.
Tim Brunig owns Bonsai Fortville. When he showed up to his restaurant on Wednesday, January 20th, this is what he saw.
I was just shocked, and when you're driving to the location, you're thinking, is anything stolen? Is anything on the inside vandalized? You know, how bad is it?
Now, this isn't the first time Brunig's restaurant has been vandalized. On January 2nd, 2020, Fortville police released this video of two suspects throwing rocks into Bonsai Fortville.
It's been tough on the restaurant industry with COVID-19 this year, so it's been a challenging year, and you know, just trying to keep your spirits up and trying to go forward is a little more challenging than it was a year ago when it happened.
I spoke with Officer Graffiti with the Fortville Police Department, and she says this week's incident is an open investigation, and as of yesterday morning, she didn't have anything she could share with me, and they don't know if the two incidents are connected. As for Brunig, he says he doesn't have any idea why someone would do this, but he knows the small town he chose to open business in will have his back.
The city has been great during COVID. When we were shut down for 2 months, the carry-out business was good, so really the local community helped us survive through this difficult year. So I have the utmost faith in the community.
If you have any information on this act of vandalism, the Fortville police want to hear from you. Working for you, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you. Now, a ray of hope for Hoosiers at risk of being evicted from their homes. Coming up, how President Biden's moratorium expansion works and what you need to know.
As fans return to Bankers Life Fieldhouse, they will notice some things look a little different. We have an inside look at the new upgrades. That's right after the break.
As little as $5 per month.
Welcome back. The time right now is 5:46. This is a live look on the northwest side at I-65 near 38th Street. You can see we do have a semi there off in the shoulder of the road. Traffic moving both northbound and southbound is still traveling up to speed though, so it's not creating any delays. Of course, this is an incident we'll continue to monitor. We'll let you know if there are any slowdowns you need to avoid. Raphael.
So, Lauren, make sure that you know your neighbors because you never know when it's going to pay off. This morning, a Noblesville man is recovering in the hospital after being pulled from a burning apartment. The fire happened at the Pebblebrook Village Apartments this on Thursday evening. Firefighters say the victim was pulled from his apartment by his next-door neighbors. He was rushed to the hospital for his injuries. Noblesville fire officials say the fire badly damaged 2 apartments. The cause of that fire remains under investigation.
And on day 1 of his presidency, President Joe Biden made a host of executive orders. That includes extending the CDC national moratorium on evictions nationwide, Lauren.
And so, Megan, this halts evictions through the end of March and potentially through September. In the president's proposal for the next COVID relief package, an additional $30 billion would be given to rent and utility relief. That's more than double what was just passed, giving Indiana an expected $448 million coming our way.
It helps us buy a little more time to be able to address that solution of rent relief. It also gives the state government a little bit of time to think about some legislative opportunities to help those who have fallen through the cracks.
Renter advocates say, though, they're finding that some people are still unaware of the moratorium. Prosperity Indiana says renters need to proactively say that they're at risk of eviction and fill out a declaration form from the CDC's website to avoid eviction. We have more information on resources right now. Just go to our website, WRTV.com. At 5:48, it is Friday, so let's get a check of our forecast as people are heading out the door, Todd.
You know, it's a nice quiet end to the work week here across central Indiana. As we head into the weekend, it's quiet. As we exit the weekend, Lauren, though, different story as the storm system heads our way outside right now. Skies are mainly clear through downtown Indianapolis. The temperature sits at 30 degrees. Feels like 20, though, when you factor in this wind out of the northwest at 14 miles per hour. And the wind is the issue today. Not so much the wind speed, but the wind direction. Those northwesterly winds are going to keep us really from warming a whole lot throughout the day today. In fact, we only go up a couple degrees. The temperatures you see here, which are in the 20s and 30s, are your current temperatures, and they'll continue to go down another couple degrees here this morning before they slowly start to climb up into the 30-degree range later on this afternoon. You factor in the wind, and wind chills around 20 degrees in almost all locations. Here's how your day breaks down for you hour by hour, and you notice the temperatures, as I mentioned, just don't really do a whole lot. 26 degrees on average through about 10 a.m. Get up to about 27 by the noon hour, and then highs today will only be topping off right around 28 degrees with skies that'll feature a lot of sunshine. That's the good news in the forecast. It's a bright day for us. It's just not going to be the warmest day for us here on this Friday. A little bit of lingering cloud cover to the north. That's going to move out. Otherwise, it's pretty quiet, at least for the next couple days. The next storm system is off to our west. This evening, if you have plans on Friday night, temperatures quickly drop off. Keep that in mind. You really need to bundle up if you're going to be out and about tonight, as we'll dip down into the 20s and eventually into the teens overnight. And look at what you wake up to tomorrow morning. We're in the teens anywhere you go across central Indiana. Wind chills likely going to be down in the single digits. It's the coldest start we have in our 7-day planning forecast, so just keep that in mind. If you do have plans tomorrow morning, we'll get out of the teens pretty quickly once the sun comes up, and then eventually highs on your Saturday will top off right around 32 degrees. That takes us to Sunday, and on TrueCast, a storm system's going to head our way. It comes in 2 waves. This is a Sunday at 9 a.m. Potentially some snow from Indianapolis to the north, freezing rain to the south. That wave goes through with just minor issues, I think. The second wave, which has a lot more moisture with it, comes in around the morning commute on Monday, and this has a little better potential to feature freezing rain across the area. And then on the backside of it, some snow will come in. But the immediate concern as we head into Sunday Sunday and Monday will be for the freezing rain potential for your Monday morning commute. And temperatures obviously play a big role in that. We're going to be right around freezing, so it's going to be a close call, but just kind of keep that in the back of your head as you make your weekend plans and start off next week. Once we get past Monday, pretty quiet though, Lauren, with mostly cloudy skies Tuesday and Wednesday.
All right, Todd, thanks. Let's take a look right now to our east. This is I-70 near German Church Road. You can see traffic there, and I-70 is traveling up to speed both eastbound and westbound. No problems to slow down your commute. Of course, we'll keep you updated.
So let me take you to Hendricks County because it is official, Lauren. Costco is coming to Avon. The town of Avon made the announcement on its Facebook page. The new building will be located at the northwest corner of U.S. Highway 36 and County Road 900 East. Costco plans to break ground there in a couple of months and then open the store this fall. The store is expected to create 130 new local jobs right there in Hendricks County. Megan?
Raphael, turning to sports this weekend, and for the first time in 10 months, Pacers fans will return to Bankers Life Fieldhouse, and they will have to notice some changes. The facility just completed phase 1 of its renovation. Upgrades include a massive new video board and more comfortable seating in the arena. They also added 2 new club spaces. That includes the 67 Club and Hardwood Club, which fans on the lower level can have access to.
We know that each person coming in here sort of has a unique hope for that game. Some it's really centered on if we win or lose. Some is just, hanging out with friends. I think our goal has really been to create that experience that appeals to each person individually while still having sort of a shared experience overall.
Exciting moments. The Indiana Fever also got a new training facility out of the deal. By moving to the ground floor, they were able to expand and improve their space as well. A second phase is set to start this spring, Lauren.
Well, Megan, it was an exciting day at a local elementary school yesterday. We'll show you the big surprise as putting smiles on these kids' faces. That story's coming up just after the break.
Elsa's today.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Soon online, you will see members of the WRTV news team reading this book, Say Something to Kids. The gift of reading is key to breaking the cycle of poverty.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, Raphael. So looking forward to seeing those videos. We're all about literacy here at WRTV. We know it's so important. And so with the Scripps Howard Foundation, we are supporting our community through a new initiative, If You Give a Child a Book. It promotes childhood literacy. And so this past year, with all of your help, we raised more than $15,000 towards this literacy campaign. That allows us to donate 3,150 books to kids at South Elementary School of Communications down in Martinsville and also Urban Act Academy here in Indianapolis. So yesterday I got a chance to stop by South Elementary, again down in Martinsville. It's a Title I school. Students there are ranging in ages from pre-K through 4th grade. And while we couldn't host our normal book fair inside of the school building due to COVID-19 precautions, each student still got to take home 4 brand new books. Plus, we donated additional books to their classrooms.
And then opening those bags and getting out and showing us which one they think might be their favorite and which one they want to read first. It was great to see that excitement.
Well, again, we want to thank all of you for coming alongside us in this effort to improve literacy in Central Indiana. Those kids say thank you. And again, we can always use your help to reach even more students in our community. So to donate, just visit WRTV.com/giveabook. And Todd, I can't tell you how thankful we were for the sunshine yesterday, the little bit warmer temperatures, because due to COVID, we kind of had to stay in the lobby and right outside the school building. And the kids came out to greet us and they were like, oh, it's sunny. So that was kind of a nice thing in the middle of January.
All right, I'm sure the kids are happy to get outside a little bit, but you're exactly right. Anytime you're around 50 degrees in January with sunshine, you're doing all right. Cooler this morning, we're in the 20s and 30s. Radar is quiet, but mostly sunny skies once again today. The problem today, the temperature, very little warming heading our way as we only get back up to right around 30 degrees this afternoon for your high. So it's a cool but bright day for us as we end the work week. More on your weekend forecast. Latest news headlines coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues here on WRTV.